So we met through a girl that I grew up with. We went to church together, and I kind of mentioned to her, I was like, hey, I'm single. You got anybody you can introduce me to? She's like, yeah, I've actually got the perfect person. And she introduced us.
We just kind of hit it off. So we dated all through college. He proposed when I was a junior. We got married, and then a couple years later, we had my oldest. And then in 2022, we were surprised with twin girls.
It changes your life. It's one thing to kind of be not all for God and going to church as just a regular adult, a regular person, but to have a kid and to not be able to show them that, it changes your view on things. You see your kid there and you're like, I want them to know Christ. I want them to know what I know. So we found Westridge. I don't know if I necessarily dove in right at first, but I was acceptant of going to church again. And it took me a long time to get back to the point where I was like, hey, let's go every week.
And then COVID hit, and we just kind of nixed it, and we weren't going. I got convicted to get back into church so my daughter could know church was a priority. And that first service I went back to, I remember them talking about getting plugged in with student ministry, and I just felt led to reach out. And I knew at that point I had twins, newborns, with the 5-year-old, I was like, how on earth is this ever gonna work out? So I sat down with Todd and got all the details, and it almost felt like I had like this checklist of, okay, if it fits A, B, and C, I can do this. And lo and behold, everything got checked off. And it was perfect timing where I was able to help out with the high school and be a small group leader there. I remember thinking, I am just gonna be here on Sunday. And I thought the whole time as the girls were talking about Rush, I was like, there is no way I'm leaving 2 1-year-olds and a 5-year-old. God started tugging on my heart in February saying, hey, you might need to go. And finally we talked about it, we prayed about it, and we made the jump. I didn't know how I was going to get there, who was gonna watch the kids right at that moment, but I knew God was gonna cover it. And so serving at Rush was super fun, and I got to lead a group of girls. We had great conversation. There was people there whenever I didn't know the answers to give me the answers. It made me not afraid of the questions that they had. I was ready for anything that they threw at me. One of my students got baptized, and I got to be a part of it, which was super cool. But what I love more is she is in my D group, and I've got to see her relationship with Christ grow every week. And during those services, I really thought of Lance during that. Lance was really put on my heart. I had a lot of prayer about him. He was talking a lot about, he didn't know what his purpose was. I felt that he needed to be there next year, that he needed to be a part of this high school, that we needed to do this together.
It wasn't so much I don't want to do this, it was more like, I don't know if I can connect with these kids. I don't deal with kids. I deal with adults all day long. How am I going to interact with these kids? And not only that, but I had some reservations coming from my church and how the youth was kind of treated and pushed off to the side. But Westridge wasn't like that. They were like, hey, this is the future of the church, and we're going to make this a priority. And feeling that was like, okay, I can do this.
We've been praying a lot about Lance going this year and making that commitment, and we both feel that God is calling Lance to get to experience that. His boys need it, he needs to have that opportunity. So we're excited to see what God holds for Rush this year.
I'm excited to be able to share with these kids and be a part of this group and just be there for them.
That is what Rush is all about, is creating an army for God for the next generation. You get to be a part of a student's story, and you may be thinking that there's no way to do it, that you have kids, that you don't have the time, you don't have the resources, whatever that is. I thought all those same things, and I still thought them this year, but I know God's gonna provide. He's gonna get you there, he's gonna put you with the right group, and these kids are so excited and they need great leaders to help them.
These kids feel judged more than ever these days, and an environment like this takes that judgment away. To be able to go somewhere where they don't have to worry about the world encroaching in on them, they don't have to worry about being judged, they can just give everything to Christ, and the more kids that get to go, the better it is, because the kids are the church. They're the future of the church, and without them, we're not going to be able to continue this mission.